Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We'll make a start here. So welcome to the Smart Webinar Series, Webinar Wednesday. This afternoon, we are learning about the Smart Learning Suite online, today at the 14th of March. And as usual, as we join our webinar series, you have the opportunity to chat using our chat function on the GoToWebinar panel. On the GoToWebinar control panel here. So please do feel free to click on the chat button, ask any questions via chat, and we'll make sure that we can do this at the end of the sessions too. So today we're really fortunate. We've got our guest presenter who is speaking to us from Calgary, Stephen Yeo, at mere 11 p.m. at night, Calgary time. So thank you very much for staying up late to join us, Steve, today. And we're really looking forward to hearing all about SLS Online. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Helen. And, thank you to all of our attendees for joining the call today. Again, I'm calling in from Canada and really excited to be able to speak to our Smart Learning Suite online. And so with that, I'm just going to do a little bit of a kickoff in terms of explaining and running through all of the capabilities and features of our Smart Learning Suite. First and foremost, of course, there is Smart Notebook. And so this is what I am presenting in today. And of course, that's really intended for lesson creation and delivery. We also have our Smart Lab, so that is one of our functions which allows game-based learning, having all of the different types of game activities and game themes to facilitate learning and to increase engagement. And of course, that's up in our toolbar here. So up here with that little Atari looking icon, that is Smart Lab, and that will bring you to an interface to start some different array of game-based activities. Next along the line here, we also have Smart Response 2, and that allows for quick and effective formative assessment. Very easy to set up both Smart Lab and Smart Response 2 activities and assessments. It just walks you through Wizard, and you should be able to do so easily within 5 minutes. As we move along here, we also have our Smart AMP, and that is our co-creation and collaborative shared workspace software. So very much kind of like a Google Drive approach. You can have students all working on a project within one shared online workspace. They do not need to be in the same room. They can be at disparate locations, and so you can easily facilitate tasks such as project-based learning through Smart AMP. And finally, what we're here to talk about today, that is our Smart Learning Suite online. So I wouldn't really think of this as a new product. If you do have a subscription to the Smart Learning Suite, you have access to the Smart Learning Suite online. It's just another way for you to interact with and share your notebook lessons to your students on their student devices. So again, that's new to the Smart software family, but again, it's a different approach in terms of how you can access your content. Just looking very closely at Smart Learning Suite online, so this really does spark active learning. And again, it's really about being able to push notebook lessons that you're familiar with today to student devices. So the basic premise behind this, and I'll just grab a pen to annotate, is that it is a cloud-based platform. So I will be going through a demonstration of this, and hopefully you have your web browser or your device. You can have an iPad or anything that supports a web browser, and you can follow along with some of the activities that I'll be going through. So get that ready, and we'll be able to play with that in just a couple of moments here. And so, as I mentioned, it's a cloud-based platform letting teachers open and deliver notebook lessons anywhere and to share them to student devices. Again, as I mentioned, this is included as part of your Smart Learning Suite subscription. If you haven't tried it yet today, or you don't have Smart Learning Suite, we do have access to a 45-day free trial if you want to try it out. And again, the URL is just over at the bottom here. It is suite.smarttech.com. A little bit more. So again, this really is about using student devices. Student devices are quite pervasive today in education. Of course, you're seeing students using, whether it's Chromebooks or their phones or like iPads, for example, they're really using that to engage in active learning, leveraging the Smart Notebook lessons that you may have as an educator. And again, within this platform of Smart Learning Suite Online, you can not only share your lessons, but you can easily create game-based activities and assessments through the menu system here, really just to quickly gauge understanding and to facilitate instruction. So as I mentioned, this is not a product per se, it's just another mechanism for you to deliver your content. So if you look at our Smart Learning Suite software, and for example, Notebook, if you will, that is all operating on a desktop. So that's on a Mac or a PC. And you know that from Notebook software, you can easily create and deliver interactive notebook lessons, game-based activities, and assessments. You can also access tons of different subject-specific features like GeoGebra, concept mapping, smart blocks, and so forth. So a lot of built-in tools and built-in add-ons to help you get on with your lessons as well. And you can easily share your notebook files to a smartboard or with colleagues. So starting in Notebook 17 onwards, you do have the ability to have file and then share. And so from sharing, you can easily just prep this file, and you can either send it directly to a smartboard with our IQ technology, that is our embedded technology that's based on Android, or you can share your lessons using a link. And the funny thing is, with either of those approaches, you can actually send your lessons directly to your Smart Learning Suite online profile. And I'll get into that in just one second. So again, if you're not familiar with it, again, our newer versions of Notebook do have the ability to share, again, straight to a smartboard with IQ, or again, with colleagues using a link. And of course, that's the desktop approach. There also is the other mechanism of sharing lessons online. That's what we're here to talk about today. It's our Smart Learning Suite Online. So this allows you to easily create and deliver collaborative workspaces for student co-authoring. Of course, you can send notebook lessons directly to student devices. Again, I will be demonstrating that with you, so for all our participants. Easily create and launch game-based activities and assessments. And the great thing also is you can easily transition between lessons on the fly, and you can actually have the connected devices switch automatically. And I'll show you what that looks like in terms of being able to pull students directly into a specific activity. So without much further ado, let's actually just try out this software. So I will now switch over to a web browser, and I will go to suite.smarttech.com. I'm just going to switch over right now, and this is what it looks like. So again, this is a cloud-based platform. Of course, there's a URL up here, suite.smarttech.com. And I am going to go in actually as a teacher. You can also have students join in, but in this particular case, I'll log in as a student, a teacher. So I'm just going to click sign in. Again, this does have a 45-day free trial if you want to try it out. And I'm just going to sign in. So I've just created an account. You can kind of log in with a Gmail account or any other account. Click on here to continue. And that's going to take me to my password page. Oh, I already logged in. So I've already logged in before, so skip that password page. But this is basically what Smart Learning Suite Online looks like. And so you can see, not my particular name, but a sample teacher, Mr. Bowie. He has a class ID. And you can see a series of lessons that I've previously shared to Smart Learning Suite Online. So those will appear near the bottom here. I'll just walk through some of the features here. If you look at this avatar, I can click on that, and I have different things here. It tells me what I've logged in as. Some other jump-off points if I do want to download Notebook or try AMP. I can access my help feature here. There is a welcome intro. The very first time you sign in to Smart Learning Suite Online, you will get an intro. So I'll just click on that, and it'll show you what it looks like. And so this is a welcome. You can start sharing your lessons to student devices in just a few steps. Click along here. There's a green add button along the left-hand side to add, upload files, and also to create activities and assessments. And of course, I can walk through basically how to actually share my lessons to student devices. Okay, so if you missed that on the first step when you log in, you can easily access it again, back up in this corner here. You can also choose to request a feature. This will take you to one of our pages where it allows you to request a feature. And many of our best features in our software do come from customers and users and educators who would like to see something different and something new. So that's definitely take that to heart, and feel free to request a feature at any time. And of course, that's the sign out feature here near the bottom. There is also an edit class facility. So if I click on this, I can actually choose to rename the class. So if it was, for example, instead of calling it Mr. Bowie, I can call it science or mathematics or physics or whatever the course subject may be. I can also choose to reset the class ID. The class ID is set once at a time, and it allows, basically permits students to not have to retype in a class ID all the time, but you can choose to reset it if you need to in any circumstance. And I can also choose to edit the class banner. So this would be that blue bar along the top. I can choose to update it with a graphic if I wanted to spruce things up just a little bit aesthetically. As you can see, the lessons are near the bottom here. I can actually choose to search by a specific name. So if I typed in super sort, of course, it just isolates that particular lesson. I can also choose, right now you're seeing the thumbnail view of all the different activities that I have. I can choose on this list sort, which would do it sorted by the file name. And I can choose to sort by the date or also sort by the file name itself. So I'm going to go back to date, and it will show me in chronological order all the lessons that I have uploaded. Now, you may be wondering, again, how do I actually send my lessons here? So again, in Notebook 17 and onwards, I can go to File and Share. So again, I can share it to a smartboard with IQ, or I can send using a link, or I can actually press this plus icon here. So this allows me to import a notebook lesson that I may already be using. I'll just click on that, and that will take me to my desktop, for example, to bring up a series of lessons that I choose to want to upload. This might be it. So that'll just bring up the dialog just to pull in some different files. Okay, so exciting thing here, I'm actually going to go into a specific lessons. As you can see, numerous lessons that I've kind of accumulated over time. I'll go into the simple one, English vocabulary. And the premise of this lesson is to really teach some properties of fruits and to go through vegetables. And in this lesson, there will be some game-based activities as well. So it's very simple. Again, whatever I had in notebook software will appear here. Now, again, this is all online. Walking through the menu here, this particular button in the corner allows me to go back to my home screen. So the grid where all my lessons were housed. There is a class panel here. I'll show that in a second. I have my cursor icon here. I can choose a different pen from this menu. So I can choose to write right there. And of course, I have an erase. Choose different thicknesses to erase whatever I've written. And of course, I do have the ability to add different objects, so I can actually add a new blank page or a shouted out activity. And these arrows and the numeral here, that gives me my navigation through the file. So if I click on this particular page sorter, I'll be able to see all the different pages that I have for this particular file. And of course, I can choose either clicking on the next page or the arrows to navigate between pages. So pretty simple. And so as you can see, you can interact with much of the content here just like you would a regular notebook lesson. So I can choose to take this banana, I can choose to resize this, I can rotate this at will. Works great on the smartboard as well if you wanted to be able to use finger gestures to move this, but I'm just going to move this banana as the instructions are telling me to move each fruit next to its name. So pretty good at this particular lesson. It's not too challenging for me, so I think I got that right. And of course, I'm supposed to write what color it is. So again, I'll pick up a pen. I'm going to pick blue, and I'm going to write with my mouse here. So I'm going to see how well I'm writing. Not too terrible, but yes, that banana is yellow, of course. So again, it's a great way for me to deliver my lessons to students and from there. So I'm going to go to the next activity here, and that's just drawing lines from different vegetables and so forth. So I believe that the potato is down here, and pepper is all the way over here, and that's a tomato, and so on and so forth. So it allows you to interact with lesson content. This is great. So if you happen to have a notebook file that does have a game-based activity in it that you created with Smart Lab, those will also be accessible within Smart Learning Suite online. So here, of course, I just need to press start, and I have my lesson that's already created. So easily allow me to sort between fruits and, of course, vegetables, right? So me being able to do this as an educator from my my laptop, for example, that's great. But that's not so fun for you guys if you're students. You may want to pass this over directly to students and have them interact with this file. So I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to actually go here to the class panel. And if I can get all of the participants on this call, just open up a browser and simply navigate to hellosmart.com, and you will be able to access this directly from your own devices. So great, I've got John, I've got Helen who's logged in. Hellosmart.com, all you need to do is enter the class ID, which is 75239, and then your name. Great. Okay, so basically on your devices, you should be able to see the activity that I've just shared with you, and you should be able to interact with it on your own, actually. So if you happen to have an iPad or an iPhone, just tilt it horizontally, or any Android-based phone, as long as it has a web browser, you can actually easily interact with this content. All right. Now, with any of these pages, I've actually shared the whole lesson with you, so you can also even navigate between pages. So what I'll do here, just to replicate this experience, I'm going to create, if I may, a new incognito window. So I'm going to pretend to be a student here. Hellosmart.com. And I'm going to enter the ID of 75239. 5239. And my name is Steve. I'm just going to join that. So again, with this incognito window, I'm pretending to be a student. Of course, I can automatically see as a student the entire lesson and navigate between the pages here. And I can kind of skip ahead or join the lab activity at will. All right. I'm going to minimize that window now here. So that's great. So, all of the different students in the classroom, they're not tied to one particular page or a particular order. They're free to roam around through the file at their own pace. Now, if I did want to grab the student's attention and all join into one activity, I can actually choose here on the left. I can create a new shout it out activity. So I'm going to click on that. With shout it out, it allows me to bring all of the students directly into one facilitated slide content. And here I can actually use your devices, or you can all use your devices, to input some selections or some choices of what question I'm going to ask you. So the question I'm going to ask you is, what are some of your favorite fruits and vegetables? So all you need to do is within the interface there, type it in, and you press submit, and your responses should automatically appear on this shout it out activity. So I'm going to go to my student panel here. So pretending to be a student, I'm in that incognito tab. I'm going to select something like, I like apples, and I'll send that. And as you see on my teacher's screen here, yeah, there we go. So I see apples. I see John's put in banana. Helen is awesome. She's actually included an icon for an apple. Great. So again, being able to work with your student devices at your own pace, but also being able to pull students directly into a shout-out lesson to facilitate the instruction. That way, both of those methods are facilitated through Smart Learning Suite Online. Helen's great. She's put in all of these different symbols. So she likes bananas and pears as well. Apparently she doesn't like vegetables. So we're going to see if any vegetable icons pop up on here. I'll give her a second. She may frantically search for this. The carrots, awesome. That's terrific. So again, I can easily choose to use this workspace to classify objects. So again, I can say that everything on the left-hand side is a fruit, and everything on the right-hand side is a vegetable, et cetera, et cetera. Or I can sort it by student, whatever you kind of deem as necessary. So that's great activity here. Also being able to, as I mentioned, adding a blank page. So say, for example, in the particular slides that you had, you wanted to do a quick brainstorm. I can easily click on add a blank page, and this will allow me to just, for example, take notes or to diagram something out. And I might want to say that I have my fruits on one side and have my vegetables on one side, and actually just write out particular items on this page. So again, adding any number of blank pages as I want. All of the edits that I have in this file, they will be saved. So for example, if I exit, and again, I do exit to the lobby with this top left icon here, I click on this, and you can see that file that I was in was English vocabulary. I simply click on that, click on the page sorter near the bottom here, and I should be able to see all of the changes that I've made. For example, the blank pages and the shout out activity and the blank page, which should have kept some of the inking. I think it's just taking a second to load the content. There we go. So that's the page I was on with the blank page with the content. So again, all of these changes are saved. Changes are not saved, however, for game-based activities. So for example, for the shout out, you saw that it didn't save. I think that's something we're looking at being able to save for future releases. Okay, so going back to this screen here, going back to this index, very easy to, again, add files, load up different activities and so forth. What I'm also going to do here is actually create a new activity. So with here, I can create an activity, and just wanted to show you some of the new themes that we have. If you're familiar with our current Smart Lab activities, we actually have added a few of them that are unique to the Smart Learning Suite Online. So something that's not accessible within our notebook software. And so one of them has to do with matching. So Match 'em Up has a cool new theme called superheroes. I'm just going to quickly create a category here. So I'm going to go decimals, and I'm going to compare that against fractions and get them to match them up. So for example, 0.25 is a decimal, 0.33, and I'm going to go 0.6, 0.75, and 0.8. Why not? And as a fraction, I'm going to go 1 over 4, 1 over 3, 6 over 10, or actually, let's simplify that, 3 over 5. Is that correct? Yeah, 3 over 5. Oops. I'm going to go 3 over 4, and I'll just go 8 over 10, just to make it kind of different. And in here, you will see that I have my typical themes that we've had for quite some time for matching, but it has a new superheroes theme here. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. And it takes all the content. It's very easy to do. So as I mentioned, you can easily create activities within 5 minutes, and I've done this in literally about 40 seconds here. So a Match It Up is created. You'll see that it says today. All of the other content that I had was older. I uploaded that a few days ago. And I'll just click on the Match 'em Up, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to press start here. And so this is a really easy activity for me to be able to just to match concepts together. So I'm going to say 0.8. And that is 8 over 10. So you're going to see the superheroes attack this invading robot. I'm going to give it a couple blasts there. 0.75, that's 3/4. Give him another blast. And of course, if I do get it wrong, not a happy story. So I'm going to get, let's just go 1/3 and see what happens. So I get hit, and not a great day for the superheroes. So again, this particular theme is only available in Smart Learning Suite Online. You will not see this within Smart Lab within our Smart Notebook software. Okay, some other things that are new, we also have a rank order one that's new. So rank order has a, believe it's a robot theme, and we also do have a new memory match game. So memory match allows you to, almost like a flip card, like playing memory, allows you to kind of flip cards over. I'll show you what that screen looks like in just a second here. So very simple. Again, that's a quick walkthrough of the Smart Learning Suite Online. Again, easily set this up. Again, it's not a new purchase that you have to make. It is part of your active Smart Learning subscription. And again, you can try this for 45 days for free. Just simply go to suite.smarttech.com and just sign up for an account, and you'll be able to easily go from there. All right, so that was a quick walkthrough. These were some of the activities that were only available in Smart Learning Suite Online. As I mentioned, there's a memory match, which is right here. So that's just flipping cards over to match. You can play this in a 1-player or 2-player mode. And again, it will easily shuffle to randomize the cards. You'll quickly reveal the cards, and every now and then you'll get a wild card that gives you a free match. The theme that I did show you again on the right here, so for match 'em up, we have superheroes, which is just here. Of course, that's what we just played. And for the rank order, there's a new Future Bots theme right here. So ranking from first to last, or from whatever sequential order that you wanted to do, and your whole goal there is to build that particular robot. Okay, so I'm going to quickly just walk through, let's take a step back let's look again in terms of what I did to get lessons in Smart Learning Suite Online and to student devices. So we actually did that in practice, and you were able to join along as well. So thank you for joining. Again, so that's my lesson, my notebook lesson that I had on my laptop, for example. I'm able to import this directly into Smart Learning Suite Online. So all I had to do was log in. And of course, what 3 ways can I get lessons to Smart Learning Suite Online? So I can either share the board, I can share using a link, or I can import with the green button on the left-hand side. So those are 3 easy ways for me to get content directly into my Smart Learning Suite Online profile. Again, going through my lessons, I can select any lesson, interact with that. And again, I also had the ability through the class panel to share the notebook lessons with student devices. So that's exactly what we just walked through as far as demonstration. I was also able to pull you back in into a shout-out activity where the full class's attention was on that particular activity. And students, what you were able to do, you can either go to Smart Learning Suite Online and click the student login, or again, just go to hellosmart.com just to log in, connect to my teacher's class, and again, easily as you were able to interact freely at your own pace with that notebook lesson content. And just to kind of land the plane here again, so just wanted to show this slide one more time. Again, Smart Learning Suite Online, great flexible way for me to interact with content. I don't actually have to have my notebook desktop software to teach the content. Again, it's a flexibility of different approaches here. So again, looking at my desktop, that's with my notebook activities, currently what I have today, accessing all these great features with Notebook, and of course, sharing my files. And again, as we walk through our Smart Learning Suite Online, so that's taking content from anywhere on any device. And throughout the Smart Learning Suite software portfolio, we have Smart AMP, which allows me to do student co-authoring, sending notebook lessons to student devices, exactly what we did, create and launch game-based activities, and again, easily transition between lessons and getting your devices to automatically switch. That's what we're able to accomplish there. And that actually takes us through a walkthrough of Smart Learning Suite Online. I'd like to see if there's any questions that were entered in the chat window.
Hi, Steve. I've got one question.
I don't think that.
I've just found one, Helen. Yeah, I've got one here. What operating systems are supported with SLS, Steve?
For SLS, so Smart Learning Suite in general, both Mac and PC are supported. For Smart Learning Suite Online, any browser will do. So, if you wanted to use Microsoft Edge or Firefox or Chrome or anything like that, it supports any browser.
Fantastic. I think that's about it for questions, Steve. Yep, that's it. Fantastic.
All right, fantastic. So again,
Thank
I hope
you
you had
very
a
much,
great.
Steve.
You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. So again, I hope it gives you a very good glimpse of what we have on offer. So again, Smart Learning Suite Online, all the different capabilities from creating lessons to delivering them, game-based activities, formative assessment, content co-creation, and student co-authoring. And again, this new platform for me to deliver, whether it's desktop and online. So hope you had a lot to take away from this. And if you haven't tried it already, we heavily recommend that you do try this out and take your notebook content, upload it, and see how it is on your end.
Great. Thanks so much for that, Stephen. Really appreciate you staying up so late in Calgary to do this live for us here in Australia. So absolutely brilliant, and we'll all going to be jumping at the bit to have a go at Smart Learning Suite Online. Thanks again, and looking forward to seeing you all at the next webinar next week. Thank you, guys. Bye.